Hey, can you guys see me? Can you hear me? I'm gonna have to wait for some comments to come through. I might have to do this once again, but I just need to know if you guys can hear me first. Let's see if there's any comments. Sheesh. All right, they can hear me, but can you see me? Because I'm seeing nothing. Start the stream 2 minutes late, and there's just all hell to pay, of course. I'm trying some things on my end so that I don't have to just start the stream all the way over. We might be able to see me. All right. You can hear and see me. Well, isn't this lovely? Because I can see nothing. Video and audio coming through. Cool. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to be right back. I'm going to leave the broadcast. I'm not going to end it though. Right back. 1 sec. All right. Here we are. What is good? What's up, guys? Trey's here. Chris is here. What's up? Howdy, howdy. I see Mary with comics. I see Omnibuddy. Omnibuddy's laughing at me, which is not cool, but hey, it's all good, Mitch. All good. Let's do this little bubble thingy. Let's put this here. Let's just act like everything's all good. I don't know if you guys ended up even seeing my cool little intro, but it's whatever. Let's see. New comments. What's up, squad? What's up, Carlos? Shout out to you. That's what I say to you, though. So shout out to you, Carlos. Superior. Wow. Can't talk. Superior Hero Collectibles. What's up, everyone? What's up, squad? Yes. I'm trying to make that a thing. Like, Laura's here. What's up? Carlos says Batman content, count me in. Well, yeah, there's plenty of that to go around. Let me get in the frame a little bit better. It's like, look at me and not my V-neck. Oh man, Omnibuddy was laughing at his own joke. I don't get it. Where's the joke? We might be able to see. All right, Noah's here. What's up, Noah Verse? Oh, you guys saw the intro and it looked great. Perfect. That's great. I'm going to have fun watching the beginning of this all over again. So, first off, my apologies for starting the stream a little late. Was dealing with some family stuff. Good evening, Seth. I'm going to put this a little bit closer to me. Ooh, maybe not. That's like messing with the base there. Anyway, I'm a little flustered. I was supposed to change clothes, but whatever. We're here. Welcome to the Hangout. This, of course, this is how we start off, right? But this is we've done this, 4 times? It's like the 4th time we've done this live stream thing. But this will be the first installment of the now weekly Hangout series, which is really dope. We're going to do this every Thursday night at 7 p.m., barring like family stuff and all that. Married with Comics wants to know how Faith is doing. Does she enjoy the new Batman issues? So yeah, we're using our superhero names on this channel, but my daughter Squeak is doing very well. I did have a whole hashtag with her real name though, so. But nah, she's doing well. She's making a bunch of noise. I can hear her. Hopefully you guys can't. Grayson Red just jumping right in it. How do I like I Am Batman #1? I'm going to get to that in just a little bit. I promise. Phil says, hey, everyone. Seth says, good evening. Cool. We got 16 people watching. That's what's up. I haven't even gone to check to see if my automated post came up or came in the K-Squad group. But yeah, so I want to start off just asking you guys, how's everybody doing? How's your wife? How's your husband? How's your family? How was your Thursday? Of course she's making noise. That's her job. That's true. Comics Explained. You're not the only one that needs to get caught up on Batman. And also, what's up, Comics Explained? I've watched your channel so many times. I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Can't complain. Man, we got superstars in the house tonight. But yeah, so today, well, Noah's Thursday was eventful. Mine too, brother. We'll talk about it offline. Phil Duran read The Ultimates by Al Ewing. It was so good. I am not reading that series. I know nothing of The Ultimates. And I think as I'm saying The Ultimates, I'm thinking of The Eternals, which tells you even more that I have no idea who they are. Chris Parton is so far behind on Batman. Yeah, I kind of fell off Batman right before they introduced Miracle Molly. Once Future State was done, I was excited to leave the Magistrate stuff alone and get back to what Tynion was building. And then it turns out Tynion's just going into, the Magistrate stuff too. And that just kind of took the wind out of my sails. So I stopped reading it for a little bit. I picked up Fear State issue 0 and really enjoyed it. Yeah, so that got me back in. Fear State. I haven't read Batman 112 yet. Didn't that come out? That's out. I haven't read it yet, though. I did read I Am Batman #1. We're going to talk about that. But yeah, my point is I'm back in Gotham, and I'm just going to fill in the blanks later is how that's going to go. Comics Explained says Ultimates is amazing with the OMG. What is the Ultimates? Is it cosmic? I'm super deficient on the Marvel side. My Marvel reading is pretty much limited to X-Men. I go in and out of Spider-Man. Grayson stopped reading right before Miracle Molly 2. It's getting caught up now, and it's actually awesome. That's what's up. Trey Gillen read Titans United. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do something. I want to know what you guys read this week. Just put it in the comments. Me looking at my sternum is just going to be weird. So I'm going to change my shirt real quick while you guys do that. And why don't we just play a countdown? Because it'll only take me 30 seconds if I don't break my neck. Be right back. It worked. Wardrobe change. That's how they do it at concerts, right? They just bring a random distraction onto the stage, some cute girl or something. They disappear into the dark and then they come back with a whole new outfit. So That was my concert wardrobe change. It's the Multiversal Avengers is what the Ultimates are. I'll have to check that out. Chris Parton is all caught up on all things Boom Studios, but that's about it for this week, you guys. So I don't know why I put the headphones on. It's not like I'm gonna have to listen to you guys at any point. But so let's talk about my unread pile. My unread pile is insane, like insane. As a matter of fact, my unread pile is all those bags behind me. It was easier for me to just label the bags with the release dates than it was to like try to bag and board or put them away or put them in some kind of pending area. That's how insane my unread pile is right now. And I had this great idea, or I thought it was a great idea. Like, you know what? Everything I bought yesterday, I'm just gonna read it today, whether I'm caught up or not. Because I mean, who has the luxury of waiting for a jumping on point to start buying comics? If you walk into the comic shop on a random Wednesday and it's your first time, you're just going to pick up whatever's there. So the test would be like, hey, if I read this book and I can't figure out what's going on, then that's an indictment on the creators, not on me. So I tried to read through my whole pile. I didn't read through the whole pile yet. So I've read Batman 89 #2. The Joker #7, Marauders 24. I read Challenge of the Super Sons #6, and the Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries #6, which I was so excited for this issue, and it did not disappoint. A pup named Scooby-Doo and Bruce Wayne, who is ironically going by Robin in this issue. And then I read I Am Batman #1 by John Ridley. So I'll get into my thoughts on those in a little while. But yeah, Primordial was a little trippy, but I'm hooked. You know, I actually went back to the shop today and I bought Primordial because you guys told me I was tripping for not buying Primordial. So I'll check it out. I've never read any Jeff Lemire, but then I also bought a sketch cover because I've been building a bit of a collection of sketch covers. Let me put this in the sketch cover drawer. Eventually I'll start drawing on them. But yeah, Frank Castle, the Punisher, just is finished reading all of Preacher and loved it. What's Preacher about? I've heard my homie Chris Krause says that Preacher is the best thing he's ever read, but it was also the first thing he's ever read, and he stays in comics hoping to catch that high. Let's see. Grayson read Primordial, I'm Batman, The Last Annihilation, Trial of Magneto. So what I didn't get to from my this week pile, I didn't get into Seven Secrets yet. I purposefully left this out of that teaser picture too, because I'm not going to spoil the story arc for myself. I'm actually going to read this one in order. I didn't read Batman Urban Legends yet. I didn't read Trial of Magneto #2, nor did I read Justice League 67. By the way, like, how long is Black Canary's leg? So, yo, you guys are like killing me. You guys are like crushing me for not reading any Jeff Lemire. Wait, The Joker Killer Smile was Jeff Lemire, right? I read issue 1 of that, but I haven't finished it yet. All right, so I know Lemire and Sorrentino is the team. They did a Green Arrow run. They do like everything together, it seems like. Let's see. So yeah, it sounds like Old Man Logan is the one to go with. Rob and Phil both agree on that. May's book is on his list to pick up. Gideon Falls. Didn't they just release a Gideon Falls Deluxe? I might jump on that. I had to get back in touch with Image. At one point, I was getting advanced PDFs, and then they dried up one day. And I wasn't reviewing the books, but I know that Gideon Falls was somewhere in my files, so I'll have to check that out. Old Man Logan was fire. Cool. So I need to read that then. Thanos by Lemire, Sweet Tooth. So you guys are just gonna keep throwing all these Jeff Lemire recommendations. The fact that he's written that much that you guys love means he's somebody I need to check out. So that's dope. But yeah, so of course, what I should have done was get an agenda together and all this stuff. Wait. Trey says no spoilers. I'm reading that Batman stuff after the Hangout tonight. Well, Trey, I'll do my best not to spoil the stories as I review them, just for you. Shannon just got Philadelphia and is still waiting for Something's Killing the Children. Shannon, I got Philadelphia #1 in a mystery box, and I loved it so much that I literally bought every other issue on eBay immediately. Now I just got to read them all. Old Man Logan is a lituation. That's just a fun word. Omni Nation Comics. You know what's sad is just how much that Omni Nation Comics is here for you song gets stuck in my head. And I've only watched the video once. So what I'm doing right now, I'm pulling up all these different things that I wanted to talk about today, mainly this new Batman event by Mariko Tamaki that's going to get started next year. And I want to, how do we feel about like this constant event culture? I feel like there are so many events all the time. It's kind of crazy. Something's Killing the Children. Yo, so I bought the trade. I bought the trade of Something's Killing the Children. I bought a bunch of trades, and what I did a couple weeks ago was I just read issue 1 in every trade to determine where the rank was going to be in my to-read pile. Something is Killing the Children jumped to the top. The only reason it didn't get like the #1 spot was because I'd already read so much of Bitterroot. So I'm going to finish Bitterroot, then I'm going to read Something's Killing the Children, and then a bunch of other stuff. Let's see. So Rob says, yeah. So we're going to talk about these events. Let's just go ahead and jump into me sharing my screen first. So let's do this. And boom. All right. So if I did this right, yeah. Well, hold on. One more thing. Take that away. Now, DC announces a weekly Arkham-themed Batman event called Shadows of the Bat. Spearheaded by Mariko Tamaki and a host of artists, it'll unfold in 12 weekly issues of Detective Comics beginning this January. I don't need Detective Comics every week. Like, 12 issues of Detective Comics. Aside from its main story, it'll have backup tales written by Matthew Rosenberg, with artwork by Fernando Blanco. So let's see. Focuses on Arkham Tower, a new facility in downtown Gotham designed to hold Batman's villains. Continues in the Detective Comics 2021 annual. Okay. Spinning out of Fear State, the current event that sees the city manipulated by Scarecrow and placed under the control of Simon Saint. Detective Comics 1047 goes on sale January 4th. And it'll be weekly for the next 3 months after that. Okay, that's a dope cover. I do like this cover. So that's one thing it's got going for it. Ooh, look at this Bermejo cover. All right, so this was supposed to be me ranting about events, but it's really just me fawning over Batman artwork. And that is why. That's how they get you right there. Sheesh, look at these covers. I didn't read through the whole article before I started this stream. Man, these are looking amazing. All right, so I just read the announcement to you guys. What do you think? What do you think? So here's where I'm at with it. I'm just kind of like, I'm tired of there being constant events. Like, and there's already so much Batman. So right now we just started Fear State, but before that we were in Future State. And with Future State, that led us into like a bunch of Batman titles. So Future State ushered in new storylines for Detective Comics. I fell off Detective Comics because I was tired of the Magistrate, but I just couldn't escape the Magistrate. So we got new storylines in Detective Comics, new storylines in Batman. Of course, for me, one of the big draws to Future State was the next Batman, the John Ridley series, and that has just been slowly chugging along. Like, and I could talk more about my I Am Batman thoughts later. But between Future State, the next Batman, and the next Batman Second Son, I'm like, gosh, this stuff is moving so slow. And then we get jump into Fear State. Fear State should pick things up a little bit or a lot. And right after Fear State, we're gonna get this Arkham Tower. What is this? What do they say it's called? Shadows of the Bat, focusing on a new Arkham Tower as a replacement for Arkham. Also, I'm not big on this whole A-Day thing. Like the Joker War leads to A-Day, which leads to it's hard for me to talk about this stuff without talking about spoilers for like issues I've just recently read. But let's see. Trey's mostly DC because Marvel events have been disappointing. I didn't read King in Black, but I started reading Donny Cates' Venom run, and that made me mad that I didn't read King in Black. What other Marvel events have there been? The what was that? The Empire, Avengers and the Empire thing. I didn't read that event. Yeah, and even this whole Tom Taylor thing, I thought that was an event. And yo, Rob is like, he's flabbergasted at everything I say tonight. Yeah, I didn't read Empire. I didn't read King in Black because at the time I wasn't reading Donny Cates' Venom. So for context, I got into comics basically summer 2019. And what brought me into comics was House of X Powers of 10. Around the same time, Absolute Carnage was coming out, and they had new tie-ins every week. And I was just like, that's way too many books. I'm going to stick with my X-Men stuff. Little did I know, I picked the wrong branch, right? I mean, I've loved the Hickman era X-Men stuff, but it's kind of ended like just, we'll see how Inferno goes. I think Inferno is going to really redeem a lot of the run for me. But because I didn't read the Venom run once King in Black started, I didn't read that either. So I'm collecting that in those oversized hardcovers. And like I said, I'm kind of mad that I wasn't reading Donny Cates' Venom as it came out because it is awesome. And Ryan Stegman artwork is awesome. And it just makes me mad that instead of reading Venom, I bought the 2.5 issues of Spider-Man that came out every month from issue 36 until now. Like, says King in Black was good but overrated. Rob says King in Black is amazeballs. So one of you is wrong. Let's see. Tom Taylor's Dark Ages started off pretty nice. So my understanding is that Dark Ages is basically a Elseworlds thing. Like, does it count as an event? Omni Buddy says he wants to read X-Men, but there's just too much to even start at this point. So, Noah, you might be right. You might be right, but that's a hot take. I'm gonna take it off the screen now. But Omni Buddy wants to read X-Men, but there's too much to even start at this point. Honestly, with X-Men, I basically read my 3 titles were X-Men, Marauders, and X-Force. And then when Wolverine got announced, I started picking that up too. And that was pretty much all I was reading. And right after House of X and stuff, I loved how they kind of were all tying together. Like Professor X died in X-Force and stayed dead in like a bunch of other titles for a second. My bad. I am spoiler alert for like the first 3 issues of each X-Men series in the Hickman age. Yeah, I didn't even need to tell you that, except that it was all tying together really nicely. And it made it feel like you needed to read each book to really get a full scope of what Krakoa was. I would say after the Ten of Swords event, during the Ten of Swords event, it just kind of lost that for me. And I kind of fell off of the X-Men bandwagon with Ten of Swords because at the same time, my wife was pregnant, a bunch of stuff was going on. I got overwhelmed. And I read Ten of Swords finally when my hardcover arrived back in March. And Ten of Swords was cool, but I'm like, it did not need to be as many issues as it was. I think Ten of Swords is like a 22 issue event. And after Ten of Swords, everything else is just like, eh. I'm curious to see how this Inferno event goes. There's a lot of threads that have been opened up in both House of X, Powers of 10, and like the first arc of every other book that I really want to see how it closes, especially like the stuff with Mystique and Destiny. We need to see where Moira has been the entire time. But yeah, long story short, I was in the X-Men universe while the rest of Marvel was having a field day with Venom and King in Black and all that stuff. Phil says Absolute Carnage was better than King in Black. Daniel says Hickman's X-Men Omni comes out in December. I'm going to use that as a starting point. Oh, that's where I was going with that. I liked how all the titles were kind of going together at one point. I don't feel like it's that way anymore, so it might look overwhelming from the outside, but I don't think you really need to read every title. X-Men in general is kind of a bunch of one and done stories, but then they revisit stuff later on. Hellions is the one book that I never picked up. Although I did love the Hellions issues in the Ten of Swords event, so maybe that was a mistake. And I just heard that Hellions is ending. Hellions is ending in like 2 issues or something. It seems like everything's ending. I also saw a video that said Marauders is ending. Yeah, so here's the other thing. Phil. Oh, all right, Rob. Yo, thanks for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Like, seriously, I've watched so many of your videos, been a fan for a long time. So just you coming in, talking shop for a second, it's super cool. I appreciate it. But yeah, so I'm really annoyed that we have a new Sabretooth books listed already, and we know nothing of what's going on with Sabretooth. Last I heard, Sabretooth was banished beneath Krakoa. Like, if Sabretooth is coming out of the Inferno event, I would have liked for that to just been a total shock. But now I'm just going to be looking for the resurgence of Sabretooth. But hey, that's comics for you. No, you can't catch a break, dog. You can't catch a break. Phil says Hellions is awesome. Yeah, I can't wait for Inferno either. There's so many loose ends that need to be wrapped up. But yeah, so Mitch, I think you'll do just fine reading the House of X Powers of 10 hardcover, reading the Hickman X-Men Omnibus, and then after that, you could probably just read the Inferno event. I'm sure. Oh, the Hellfire Gala. I guess that was important. Not super necessary. Well, there are things that happen at the Hellfire Gala that are absolutely necessary for moving forward. But I don't know that if you need like that whole hardcover. Noah came in with the super chat, says, we need that room tour, brother. Keep up the great work. I appreciate it. I did a room tour as soon as I finished building it, although I have added some stuff to the walls. I'm actually going to add 2 more shelves to this room. And I'm sure you guys are like, where the heck am I going to get 2 more shelves? Or where am I going to put them? One's going to go right behind me. That blank spot on the wall is where the printer used to be. Now the printer's in my closet because I only print out shipping labels and I don't run a store, so I'm not shipping things every day. So I run an extension cord to the closet and I print my stuff when I need to. And so not having a huge printer there opens up a spot for a bookshelf. And the other one's going to go on the other side of the TV. So spoiler alert. But yeah, thanks for the super chat, dude. I appreciate it. I'm going to enjoy all $2.75 that YouTube gives me of that. Mitch has the Hoxpox hardcover. Read that. I mean, you could read that by itself and really, really, really love it. Like, it got me hooked, and I'm still going to the comic shop every week because of it. House of X #4 was like probably my favorite comic issue that I've read in life so far. Marvel spoiled that Sabretooth will be in Inferno. Unbelievable. Yeah, that's whack. But that's how solicitations go. By the way, there are almost 30 of you guys in the chat. What's good? Um, if you're here, say what's up. Mitch has to run. Everybody's got to run. But I appreciate you stopping in, Mitch. Y'all go check out. Mitch just did a huge unboxing from Organic Price Books. And you guys should watch it because it's dope. Speaking of Organic Price Books, they are our channel sponsor. They sponsor this live stream and a lot of other stuff we do on the channel. So you can save $2 on all your collected editions that are available at Organic Price Books. Super fast shipping, great discounts, great packaging, the best customer service in the game. I feel like you could apply that to a bunch of different retailers, but it's just not the same, right? Everybody's like, oh, it's packaged well. Nah, Mitch's packages or JP's packages are a whole different level. I did an unboxing, I think 2 days ago, showing you just how good that packaging is. Those packages are bulletproof. And when I say the orders ship fast, I mean, a lot of times you'll get shipping information the same day. Like no one else is doing that. So yeah, check them out. Noah's got to film a video tonight, but he's staying for the whole stream. I appreciate that. Dave says it's still early here in Cali. Yeah, it's like 4:30 there, right? Yeah, 3 hours from here. Let's see. Grayson says the way solicitation spoil things are one of the reasons Hickman is focusing more on Substack. I did see someone talking about that. There's ways to do it though. Like, I mean, I guess you can't not solicit the new Sabretooth series, but I mean, you don't have to describe things in the solicitations. Like, you really don't. Like, Robert Kirkman always did random weird blurbs. Wheelchair Superhero says, hi all, what's up, dude? Good seeing you. I appreciate you being here. Hope you're well. Let's see. All right. So, by the way, this is Q&A time. Like, I'm probably gonna stream until about 8:20, 8:30-ish. But yeah. Yo, do you guys hear the SpongeBob SquarePants theme song? Because I hear it super loudly. Noah says, going to any small Comic-Cons this year? To be determined. Reggie Collects is throwing a Comic-Con at his house. I might try to stop by there because it's only like 2 hours away from me. And I mean, it's basically just going to be him selling a bunch of single issues from his huge collection. But I think it'll be dope to meet Reggie. So I'm strongly considering going to that. I think it's in November. But as far as like official Comic-Cons, they just canceled the Oak City Comic-Con, the North Carolina Comic-Con for this year. So yeah, I don't think there aren't any local cons that I'm going to be able to go to. And I don't think I'm going to be able to swing any travel this winter. My daughter is like high risk for a bunch of stuff. So me traveling and bringing back crud just wouldn't be a good idea. But next year, there's some stuff on the horizon and I'm excited about that. But I can't spoil it. Phil's going to New York City Comic-Con. Yeah, Reggie Con. I think he's calling it Garage Con. But yeah. Who's watching Titans on HBO Max is really good this season. I watched the first episode, and I have two small daughters now, but my daughter was 10 at the time, and I never wanted to risk her walking in while Raven is possessing someone or something. So I never made it out of episode 1 of Titans. I have heard good things though. Didn't Reggie move to NC? Reggie definitely lives in North Carolina. I won't put the signs up as to where I guess he said he lives in the Charlotte area. That's weird for me to repeat, but he did say that publicly. So yeah, but that's as specific as I got. Um, Noah's going to Mountaineer Con in West Virginia. That sounds like, well, I don't want to disrespect anyone from West Virginia, but Mountaineer Con, what do they even do there? Yeah, Phil says it's not for small children. Yeah, now that I have like my whole like office and stuff, like we can, I can probably watch Titans and be fine. But I didn't have like a dedicated space back when the show first came out. He gets to meet Hawk from Titans and Jay Garrick from the Flash show. He'll grab me something while he's there. I appreciate that, man. I love getting AOKs. AOKs are new to me, but it's really fun. I love like spreading the love too. Like when I get something that I have already or that I know I'm not going to enjoy as much as the next person, that's when it's time to do giveaways. I'm British. Why is West Virginia clowned on? I don't know where it originated, but like in America, we always joke on West Virginia as being like where like I don't know, I guess you would call it like mountain people are from. Like the running joke is like people in West Virginia are probably like dating their cousins and like I don't know why people from West Virginia get such a bad rap. I don't know where it came from, where it originated, but I did have to go to Indianapolis once, Indiana, and to do that, I had to pass through West Virginia. And when we stopped at the gas station in West Virginia, they definitely had a certain way about them. Like, yeah, that's another way to say it. Yeah, West Virginia is hicky. Um, yeah, West Virginia is a bunch of country folk. Noah fits right in. You know, I could make a comment. I'm not going to make a comment. There's yeah, that would what I had to have what I'm thinking would just bring the stream in a whole different direction. And that's not what we're going tonight. But yeah, I'll say that, when you see a bunch of country folks, like there's two types of country folks, and you can't tell which type of person is until like you get up close, and it gets crazy. It gets crazy. Um, I'm not flaming you, Noah. I'm not flaming you at all. But anyway, wow, we've been streaming for 40 minutes already. Well, it's been like 36 with all the technical difficulties. But I guess we can start getting into these reviews. So let's do this. I'm going to go to my pull list. Let me stop this share first. I'll go to my pull list, just kind of go one by one on how. See, here we go. Here we go. We already got a. How do I block somebody? Let's go ahead and do it. Like between the Hitler, yeah, you're blocked. Between the Hitler avatar and saying weird stuff. Back to comic talk. Read any Sinister War yet? Nope. I've not read any Sinister War yet. Paul showed up just in time for the block party. Absolutely. But yeah, we're also about to get into these reviews. Give me a second. Let me go to the books I bought. Continue. So I was working on my website yesterday and I had to like reset a bunch of stuff. And now like I have to enter my password every time I get to any page where a password is needed. That's annoying. But anyway, Star Wars fan finally bagged and boarded his books. Ronnie, what's up, dude? Did you get your package, by the way? Everyone who won anything in the last few weeks or who purchased anything from me in the last few weeks, everything should be there except that one package that I had to mail to Hawaii. But yeah, so everybody should have all their stuff. Yeah, Nick Spencer Spider-Man has been so but I'm gonna read the Sinister War stuff. I really, I was reading it because I wanted to get excited for Ben Reilly coming back, but Spider-Man is going to be a 3 times monthly book. And if I'm cutting my pull list, I can't like just buy another freaking 3 books a month. Like that's insane for one title. So I'm probably not going to continue Spider-Man after this big finale, which sucks because I really wanted to love Spider-Man and I have not. So I'll just read my Roger Stern Omnibus and I'll wait for the JMS Omnibus Volume 1 reprint. Ronnie got his package. Great. Should I pass on Spencer's run? I like the more romance stuff with him and MJ. It's referenced from what I've read. I ain't really seen a whole lot of MJ. They gave MJ her own title. She hasn't really shown up in the Spider-Man books like that. But I'm like heinously behind. So maybe after issue like 50, she shows up more, but nah. Look at you pre-ordering CGC slabs. Somebody got a promotion. I need a promotion. I need some money. Any new Batman books or DC books? Yeah. So here's what I'm gonna do. I get all sidetracked and stuff, but I'm gonna share my screen in just a second. Let's go ahead and do it. And I'm gonna go through the books that I've read so far from this past week, and I'll tell you what I thought about them. I'm gonna try to keep it spoiler free, although I do kind of want to talk freely, but I won't spoil any major plot points. I promise. So let's do this. Sharing my pull list. You guys seeing me? That is not the view I wanted. This is the view I wanted. All right. So let's get into these reviews. So, you know what? We can take them in this order. That's cool. So this week I read the Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries issue number 6. And I'm really, really enjoying this book. I read issue 1 and then I read issue 2 and then I fell off. Good thing is that each of these issues is a standalone story. So you can read this having not read any of the other series or other issues. But basically it starts off with Batman and the Mystery Inc. gang reminiscing like, wow, we've solved so many cases together. And they're all like kind of the whole Mystery Inc. gang is like, okay, well, which is the first time we got together? They're kind of fuzzy on it. But Batman remembers a time when, before he was Batman, he ended up teaming up with the Mystery Inc. gang in the stylings of a pup named Scooby-Doo. If you watched a pup named Scooby-Doo as a kid or as an adult, you know, I'm not knocking you, but if you ever watched a pup named Scooby-Doo, there are so many Easter eggs in here. There's a red herring reference. Jenkins, I think Jenkins is Daphne's butler's name. He makes an appearance. Of course, we get the meddling kids line. There's a lot. Plus, they do try to tie this stuff in to Gotham mythos really interestingly as well. I really enjoyed this book, and so far it's up there. It might be like the number 2 book I read this week. Just fun, just good fun. So what else did I read? I did read Batman 89 number 2. Funny enough, I didn't read Batman 89 number 1. But Batman 89 number 2 basically is like, what if Tim Burton did a third Batman movie? And they are, every rumor that we've heard, like, you know, there's a lot of like information that has since been Burton kind of left the franchise about casting choices and so on, right? So we already know from the first Batman movie that Harvey Dent was played by Billy D. Williams, and he's supposed to eventually become Two-Face. And so we're going to apparently get that in this series. But also, there was the rumor that Marlon Wayans was cast as Robin, and he was supposed to be Robin in the third Batman movie. Obviously, that didn't happen. We got Batman Forever, which there was no Robin in Batman Forever. Robin doesn't show up until Batman and Robin. Or does he show up in Batman Forever? He does show up in Batman Forever. I'm tripping. Yes, the guy on the cover looks a bit like Lando because, yes, Lando was also played by Billy D. Williams. Yeah, Batman 89 makes no qualms about like this is Billy D. Williams. Like it's, but yeah, So Billy D. Williams is in the book, and there's also an appearance from who would have been Marlon Wayans as Tim Drake in this issue. I won't spoil anything beyond that. Um, I'll say this though, reading Batman 89 #2, I remember seeing someone else didn't just somebody was like railing on that book. Like they just didn't like it. And they're like, oh, this Batman wouldn't even do stuff like this, so on and so on. There are definitely some tie-ins to like today's politics or today's political climate um, that, you could go with or you could either run with it or run without it. Either way, I don't feel like that's really essential to the story. But one thing that I do like is if Harvey Dent is Billy D. Williams and he's not Tommy Lee Jones, then that does kind of mean that, Harvey Dent's going to have a different character arc than he did before, because Harvey Dent was never black before. Which is not to say that black people are all from one place or have one experience or anything like that. But I did like that there was an interesting take on if Batman or if Harvey Dent was Billy D. Williams, if Harvey Dent was a black man, what does that journey look like? How does a black man become Gotham's district attorney? And how do people feel about that? So that was cool. That was something that I didn't expect to get out of this series, but I really enjoyed it in issue 2. And now I got to go back to issue 1 to see what was going on there. But yeah, if you're a fan of Billy D. Williams, you might as well grab it. A Star Wars fan. Matt Henrik says his son loves Batman Scooby-Doo, and they read it together. He usually finds it okay. The Easter eggs are the best part for sure, though. Yeah, it's the Easter eggs. It's the Easter eggs are absolutely the best part. At one point, young Bruce Wayne makes a joke like, who gets their butler or who sends their butler into harm's way? And it's like, we know how some things Batman does that are questionable later on. So that was funny. There's a lot of like just tongue-in-cheek references that I really love. So Batman Urban Legends, I didn't read yet. Challenge of the Super Sons #6. I did read this one. Gotta say, I wasn't crazy impressed. And I haven't been reading the whole series, but basically Damian and John are like traveling through time somehow. They somehow end up being like prisoners to Vandal Savage and Felix Faust. I believe I'm saying that right. And Felix has a young apprentice that befriends them. And so they're in this precarious situation. They got to get out of it. One thing I will say about this issue is like, it looked like it was written or it was drawn for 3D glasses, but like we didn't get the glasses or the memo. Like there's just something fuzzy about this artwork that I found kind of distracting. So let's do this. Let me go full screen real quick. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. So, or maybe you can't. Maybe my eyes are HD, but the camera's not. It looks sharper on screen than it does in person. And I don't know what that's about, because this was a digital first series, so you would think that the artwork would have been a little bit more crisp and clean. But a lot of this stuff, like just some of the colors are kind of muddy. I get that it's nighttime, but man. But yeah, so that's that. Are y'all still with me? I know the comments are slowing down. I'm assuming it's because you guys are like really just intently watching the review. Faulty print, maybe. That's possible. It does kind of look like maybe it was offset somehow. I don't know. I'm going to go back and look at the digital copy to see if like it was fuzzy there too. I can't imagine every page being a faulty print though. But yeah, so okay. No worries, Laura. Appreciate you being here. There's no giveaways or any. Maybe I should be like, oh, there's a giveaway at the end. But no, there's no giveaway or anything. You're not necessarily going to miss. If you're holding out for a giveaway, you don't necessarily have to. Just shot myself in the foot. Let's see. I am Batman #1. You know what? I'll save that for last because I really like that issue, but there's some stuff I had to talk about with it. Next book I did read The Joker, issue 7. Somehow this is chapter 13 of The Joker. I have to admit that issue 7 is only the second issue I've read of Joker. I read issue 1 and then kind of fell off. This one, the Joker does not appear except for the cover. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, so the Joker is not in this book, but Commissioner Gordon is like he's investigating this group. I can't spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. We get an appearance from Alfred's daughter, which is dope. But yeah, the Joker story was really cool. Like I'm loving this whole Commissioner Gordon angle, and reading this issue, I felt like it didn't spoil anything for me. Like I can read the other issues and not feel like I already know what's going to happen, because this very much just feels like a building storyline from issue 7. The Punchline backup story, which feels like it took up like 2/3 of the issue. I felt like the Punchline story, well, I guess it starts right after the centerfold, or maybe not. Okay, the Punchline story is definitely a backup. But the Joker, oh, that's the last page. There's a last page reveal. Oh, I forgot. Dang. There's like some really cool stuff coming from all the Batgirls that I won't spoil, but I really loved seeing that. Yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I forgot about the Oracle stuff in here. There's an appearance from a certain Bat villain from the Scott Snyder run that I think you guys will like. This is a good book. Basically, everything James Tynion is writing has been great. The Punchline backup story, I'm a little lost. Like we get like this kind of jailbreak thing, maybe. The art was a little juvenile for the backup story for me. Let me go full screen again for a second just so you can see that. But yeah, so that's the art for the backup story. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go back. The backup story, I felt like I couldn't really follow without reading everything else that preceded it. But the main issue, I felt like I could just jump right in, and I really enjoyed it. Like I'm excited to go back and read the Joker issues 2 through 6 now at this point. Let's see, what else did I read this week? Go back to my pull list. I didn't read Justice League yet. Marauders number 24. This book, I got to read the other issues for the Punchline story. But this book, Marauders at one point was like my favorite X-Men title. And it's just not anymore. Marauders 24 takes place seemingly right after the Hellfire Gala. And apparently this whole book was like Star Wars fan fiction to me. Like this whole book, basically Emma Frost stole a spaceship from this dude who was like a cross between Han Solo and I don't know. He was like Han Solo, but with the personality of that of Carl Weathers from The Mandalorian, like just with a little bit more badassery, if you, I would say. But anyway, so this is them trying to appease the Han Solo dude she stole the spaceship from. It ends on like a bit of a twist that I didn't see coming. That's got me like, okay, well, what's going to happen in the next issue? But overall, I was just like, what the heck is happening right now? Like, how do we even get here? Why is this a thing? You said Star Wars fan fiction is the word. Dog, so this whole issue was like the cantina scene. Like, that's what this was. Complete with a Han shot first reference. Like, all of it is there. So yeah, it wasn't my favorite. book out of the pile. Like, I feel like I should have read something else. But like I said, the way it ends still has me interested in the next issue. So maybe the joke's on me. But that was Marauders 24. And let's see, I think I only read one more book out of this list. Yeah. So the only other book I read was I Am Batman, issue number 1. So you only read 18 issues of Marauders. It's about as much as I read. I read like 2 issues since X of Swords. So that'd be like 17 or 18. Never mind. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but there's an issue focused on Storm and Callisto. And after that issue, I just feel like the whole series is kind of like, eh. But so I Am Batman. Daniel D said Emma shot first. That's funny. But yeah. So I Am Batman. We're just going to talk about how I feel about the John Ridley Batman so far. So John Ridley Batman starts off, of course, with the Future State, the Next Batman series. Let's see. That shelf just happened to be accessible. So it starts off with this. This is Future State, the Next Batman. Well, there's some other backup stories in here too. Some other little one-shots. And the Future State, Next Batman, I was really excited about before it came out. But once it did come out, I loved the first issue. So let's do a close-up. So the first issue of the Next Batman features artwork by Nick Darrington. And just look at that artwork. Look at the colors. Look at, like, it's animated, but it's still detailed. Like, this just gave me vibes like I was watching Batman the Animated Series, and I loved it. Right? But then, after issue 1, it just falls off the rails. So, I showed you the artwork for issue 1. And now, issue 2 has this, this panel right here in issue 2. And I'm just like, really? Batman is just running all out in the open and they're just shooting, and didn't hit him. They ended up hitting him, just barely grazing him at one point. But seriously, like, how is this a thing? How is Batman not hiding behind something? But I mean, it's the Next Batman. Maybe he's inexperienced or something. But anyway, the Next Batman series, I ended up being like really underwhelmed by. I wasn't overwhelmed. I wasn't whelmed. I was underwhelmed. I was like, this isn't what I signed up for. I thought we were going to get like this new Black Batman just being super dope. The Future State book, like, it didn't tell you why he became Batman, how he became Batman. We just get a little bit of action of him. The bullets bounce off the cape. That's a good save. Still doesn't make sense to just be running all out in the open like that. But yeah, we don't know why he's Batman. We just get like a few shots of him being not as good a Batman as a real Batman. And then we get like this plot of like people that were like plotting against him. And then we get some family drama. Because Tim Fox's family doesn't really know he's back in town somehow. And that's that. This leads directly into the Next Batman Second Son, which I have in single issues that I can't pull out right now. But it's just Next Batman Second Son. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, maybe we'll get some information as to how he becomes Batman or why he becomes Batman. And what we get is a bunch of Fox family drama. Like, the Fox family seems to just hate Tim. Like, Tim had like something. Oh, nah, dude, you're good. You're good, Star Wars fan. I like knowing that I'm not talking to an empty room. So you're not spamming at all. Matt Hendricks had high hope for John Ridley's work, but his characterization in comics is rough. Honestly, that kind of changes for me in this issue. So we'll talk about that in a second. If the Batgirls book is going to be anything like this issue of the Joker was this week, then I'm definitely excited for it. I really loved how the Batgirls were handled in this book. So there's that. Let's see. Oh, snap. One second, guys. I'm back. JC, what did you meet? You were tending to your newborn family. I was doing the same thing before the thing started. So there's that. My bad. Had to tend to messages from my wife. As JC knows, when you got a newborn, you just gotta you gotta be at the ready all the time. But yeah, so in Second Son, we got a bunch of Fox family drama, but it does kind of end with him stumbling upon the Batman armor, and it's like, okay, cool, okay, cool. Um, that's good analysis, Joseph. I'll pull up your thing in a second, but yeah, so in Second Son, we kind of find out that Jace or Tim Fox, who just really, really wants to be called Jace for some reason, um, really, really wants to redeem himself from this mistake in the past. Like I don't want to spoil what the mistake was. If you've read Donny Cates' Venom, it's very similar to that. I'll leave it at that. But he makes this mistake, and he's really trying to like. First, he's running from it, and so his family's kind of. Some of his family's like, "Yo, you're running from your problems. You made it worse for us." Blah blah blah, and so on. So anyway, Jace has something to prove to his family and to himself. I'll answer that in a second too. So anyway, getting us up to speed into I Am Batman. Jace is his soul searching, trying to figure out how he can matter, how he can do something that's meaningful. Stumbles upon the Batman armor. Cool. But here we are now, 8 issues into Jace Fox's like life story, and we're just now getting to him kind of getting the bat suit. And we still don't know what the word Jace means. I guess I could look it up elsewhere, but they should tell me in the comic if they're going to insist that he wants to be called Jason, that it's so meaningful to him. That's a whole different thing. But, I Am Batman #1. They could have skipped the whole Second Son miniseries and just started with this. I'd have been like, that's dope. Like they could have given me I Am Batman issue 0 and then I Am Batman issue 1, and we could have filled in the other Fox family drama in the pages of these books, and it would have been a whole different thing. I loved this issue. I really, really did. Second Son and the main Batman book were not kind at all to Renee Montoya for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they like all of a sudden Renee Montoya is just a buy the book lady, like who doesn't care. But whatever. Man does really run his groove on that first issue. Oh yeah, I Am Batman #1. This has redeemed the John Ridley Batman saga for me. Like, if this continues the way it does, and there's no like issue 1 of whatever on this cover, which means this is an ongoing, and I would buy this series in addition to the main Batman series. So this I Am Batman #1 takes place, we're led to believe it takes place immediately after issue 0. In issue 0, he finds the suit, or maybe it doesn't, or maybe this doesn't take place right after. So I'm trying not to. You're surprised I'm doing this instead of the 50% off Ultimate Comic Show. Don't be surprised, sir. Don't be surprised. I had this planned well in advance. And I don't need to spend any more money. I bought a big Batman print on the live show last night. So I've hit my limit for the week, no matter how inexpensive things are. So there's that. But yeah, I Am Batman issue 1. There's one thing that's got me confused. In this issue, Tim Fox references Batman having been dead or gone or disappeared or whatever for 6 years. But we know from solicitations that I Am Batman is supposed to tie in directly to Fear State. So I'm like, I don't know if that was just editorial, just didn't catch that. But I'm like, where the heck was Bruce Wayne for 6 years? I don't. I think that part was not supposed to be there. I think that was a detail that would have been in this book had it happened during Future State. And, editorial just missed it when it was time to put the issue out. But without spoiling this book, what I will say is in this issue, we get a better understanding of what makes Tim Fox Batman different than Bruce Wayne Batman. And interestingly enough, what's funny about it is this Batman, Tim Fox as Batman, wants to give people hope. Tim Fox Batman wants people to see him operate. Where Batman typically operates in the shadows, Tim Fox Batman wants to operate out in the open. It's interesting because when I read it, it made me feel like, oh, so this would be like if Dick Grayson became Batman. Like, but maybe not. Because Dick Grayson in Nightwing has made the argument that you could do more without being your secret identity. You should be able to do more as a philanthropist or whatever. You don't have to get your hands dirty, so on, or as much, or whatever. Right. With Tim Fox, has like a street edge to him. He's gotten martial arts training elsewhere. And now he wants to prove it on the ground. So he's like a Batman of the people. He's like, funny, if you guys ever saw the Steel movie with Shaq, he's like that. He's like Steel, where he wants people to see him operating as Batman. He wants his presence to give Gotham hope. And what that directly reminds me of is Superman Birthright, right? And I think it's funny because typically when you want to make Superman interesting, you give him characteristics of Batman. You make him dark, you make him brooding, you make him act out of character, basically. You make him act like Batman when you want him to be interesting. So the fact that what I love about this book is that this new Batman is now acting like, or now has some of the same motivations that Superman has, right? I want people to have hope when they see me. I want them to see me doing good so that they know, like, and they're inspired to do good as well. I thought that was a very interesting take. And because of this characterization of Tim Fox, I'm like, okay, I'm in. I now know why you want to be Batman so bad. You didn't create some other identity. And I know why you're operating the way you do. I know why you're on a motorcycle. I know why you don't have gadgets in your tool belt. Like, I know a lot of stuff now. So this book really saved John Ridley's Batman saga for me, and I'm really excited for issue 2. Ben Uncle says Steel was all right, but everyone knows Kazam was Shaq's acting magnum opus. That's true. I mean, Shaq made it rain candy bars. That happened. And Steel was terrible acting on Shaq's part. It was terrible. But I mean, hey, the fact that Steel became a movie so soon after his creation, like Steel didn't even exist until like, 92, I think. That's when Simonson created Steel. Ryan Longden, what's good, K Squad? Sorry to pop in. Just wanted to comment to activate the algorithm. It's all good. I know you're watching the Ultimate Comics live show instead of me. I'm not hurt. My feelings aren't hurt. My feelings are hurt a little bit. Let me pop in. Let me see what's Grace putting up on the screen right now. How am I watching the live show and doing a live show? Okay, there's no graphic novel on the board right now that I actually would want to buy. So I'm closing out of that. New Hangout is great. Can't stick around, but look forward to more in the future. Hey, we're doing this every week. Seth. If you didn't know, Seth is president of our book club. Is it president, commissioner, chief, chairman? Seth runs the book club in the K Squad. You should definitely join the K Squad, by the way. The link's in the description. It's my private Facebook group where we talk about comics. There are now officially over 450 of us in the K Squad. And I've really been enjoying running that community and getting to know people. This is really fun. Shaq acting should not be questioned. Listen. Shaq is a great basketball player, a great sports analyst, a great philanthropist, And he has some of the best Reebok shoes I've ever seen um, without the name Iverson on them. So, yeah, yeah. Book club is great. Join us. We always have a great time. Yes, I've missed the last two book club meetings. This past book club meeting was last week. I was at a wedding. And then the month before, what was I doing? I think I was on a call and like forgot about it. But anyway, we do have a great time with the book club. We're reading a bunch of different books. Let me pull it up. You know what? I'll pull it up right here. Let's go behind the curtain a little bit. So you want to go to Facebook and go to, well, it's not going to show up here for you, but go to the groups, go to the squad, the K squad. By the way, we got a new logo. I made a new logo and I really like it. It's obviously inspired by Marvel, but I still like it. And I got a whole bunch of new merch coming up soon with that on it. So that's really cool. So anyway, book club. I'm trying to get to the book club announcement. Here we go. The next comic book club meetup, we're reading 3 different titles. We're going to read the Philadelphia Volume 1. We're going to read Lock and Key Volume 1 and Something is Killing the Children Volume 1. I'm going to try to read all 3. I'm probably going to pick one and read that. And it's probably going to be Something's Killing the Children. Although I have read some of Philadelphia, so I might read that too. But yeah, so that's happening. Exactly, Ben. The Shacknosis. The Shacknosis. My favorite Shack model. Have I been reading Batman Reptilian? I've been buying Batman Reptilian. Does that count? That doesn't count. No, I haven't been reading Batman Reptilian. I should, though. You know, you got a point. You got a point there. Yo, we could talk sneakers. I've been out of the sneaker game for a minute, but we could talk sneakers. That's dope. Are we kicking it? I'm all late to the kicking it. So yeah, we have officially entered the second hour of the Hangout. I have officially done all of the things that I wanted to do. We talked about the DC event, this new Batman weekly event. We talked about the book club. We talked about a bunch of stuff. Sheesh. Shannon with a $50 super chat says, thanks for supporting the Squadron Hood of the Traveling Comic Book. Yo, I appreciate it, dude. I really do appreciate it. So if you did not know, another thing that we're doing in the K Squad, we do a bunch of stuff, but we've also started the Squadron Hood of the Traveling Comic Book. And so there is a trade paperback that is going to make its way across the whole K Squad. Like as many people as signed up, you put your name in a Google form, and we're going to read this book. And then each person that reads it is going to sign their name in the front and date it. And then once it's going, I'm going to be the last person to receive it. Once I receive it, we're going to do like a big book club discussion. And then I'm going to raffle the book off. I'm going to give the book away with all of our names and stuff in it. But thank you, Shannon. I really appreciate that. Shannon has been a really cool addition to the K Squad. Shannon drives trucks for a living. And so Shannon gets to do a whole bunch of different like stops in different cities. So he'll stop in Ollie's, he'll stop in comic shops and raid through back issues. He'll stop at a flea market. It's really fun seeing the things that Shannon picks up on a weekly basis. So you know what, we can do that. We can get back to Q&A since I did everything else that I wanted to do today. JC wants to know what makes me excited for floppies every week. He's more of a back issue person. Honestly, I'm slightly more of a collected editions person now, only because, or mainly because, I don't get to read stuff as often. Like I used to, what I did today used to be my norm. Like this was fun. Just what I like about single issues is that you're reading the story basically one chapter at a time. And so I love the whole like the whole am I gonna like this or not, right? From chapter to chapter. When it's in collected edition, you're kind of just speeding towards the ending. You don't. There's not those stakes that are like, oh, this issue better be good or I'm not going to read it. You know. Um, so we got some questions. Um, Ben wants to know what book's making its way around the K Squad. Yes, we are reading Daredevil Yellow first. So that's going to be the book that travels first. And then I think I might pick the second book. I don't know. We'll figure out how that's going to go. Let's see. Star Wars fan wants to know what bag and board company do I use. I use BCW bags and boards, specifically the current bags and boards, which are a little bit thinner than, or not thinner. Well, thinner is the word, but I don't mean like as far as the weight of the plastic. So this book is in a silver bag and board, and as you can see, there's like a little bit more room around the comic. Current bags and boards fit the book a little bit more snugly and snugly. But I buy BCW current bags and boards, but I also buy silver bags and boards in case it's a double size or oversized issue or something. So that's that. I have not read Nice House on the Lake. I don't do horror books. Says the guy who's going to read Philadelphia and Something's Killing the Children. But yeah, I don't do supernatural horror books. I don't do like possessed girls and like demons and stuff like that. I can deal with werewolves and vampires and like Freddy Krueger, but I don't do the supernatural mystical stuff. It's the same reason I don't read Justice League Dark. Because I don't do like the stuff Constantine deals with. JC meant to say collected editions. Yeah, I like collected editions, but again, with the collected edition, I feel like you're racing toward the conclusion as opposed to enjoying the story for what it is in the moment. I love that I could read this and be like, I love this 20 pages. Let's see if I love the next 20 pages. And when I'm caught up and I can do that every week, it's more digestible that way. But eventually, a few different 20-page issues becomes a whole run and a whole story arc that you love. And I love reading that in collected editions too. So that's that. Art says, "What's up? I'm a little late, but I'm here. What's good, Art Walker?" I love that that profile pic, by the way. The Jim Lee Batman Catwoman kiss from Batman 50. Who knows? I mean, well, I don't know what your thoughts on that issue were, but that cover is great. Horror stuff scares me too. It's not even so much scary to me. Well, yeah, it's just not something I do. I play with. I don't do that stuff. But yeah, BCW bags and boards are what I use. And there's actually a link in the description to my Amazon shop. And I have a whole section of supplies. As a matter of fact, let's do this. Let's go to my Amazon shop. Let's preview so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, this is a plug. Me plugging my Amazon shop. Oh, I got a book in my cart that I need to buy. But yeah, so I've been putting together like a few like kind of reading lists, books that I recommend that people buy. Full transparency, I do earn money if you buy something from this Amazon shop. I can assure you I'm not getting rich off of these links though. Amazon affiliate revenue is like super low. Like somebody bought bags and boards for like $16 the other day, and I got a 30-cent commission off of that. So anyway, if you go to the link, it's in the description to my Amazon shop. Or I think it's like just bjkicks.link/ I don't remember. So anyway, go to that and you'll see this page. I got a list for the color of comics. So these are basically like a bunch of books featuring either creative talent of color or characters of color or both. Excellence is probably my top choice here, but I do love hardware and all these others. But I've also got, a whole section of comic supplies. So these are all the supplies that I use on a regular basis. I use BCW bags and boards when I can't get those. The Ulta Pro resealable bags or boards, they're okay. They're not my first choice, but they're inexpensive. They're $10 for 100 of them. So let's see. I got an X-Men Essentials list, a list of my favorite DC books that aren't Batman, and then, of course, a list of some of my favorite Batman stories I've read over the years. So you can find all of that in the link in the description. All that's in my Amazon shop. If you're new to comics, there's something for you there. So I have put some thought into how I recommend things. It's not just like a cash grab, I promise, because there's not a lot of cash to be grabbed. By the way, sneak peek since you're here, I'm doing a review of Batman Ego, and let me tell you, I really loved this story. It's a quick read. But I really liked it. Let's see. So I can stop sharing my screen again. Boom. Being that you're not a fan of demons and possessions, are you a fan of Spawn or Hellboy? You know, I've read I love the artwork in Spawn. I haven't read it enough to really I think Spawn doesn't, for whatever reason, doesn't check the demon possession block for me. But maybe I just haven't read enough of it. Sugar Man says he's really late. He missed a lot. My bad, dude. We are probably going to wrap up here in about 10 minutes or so. But yeah, to answer your question, Shannon, I like the artwork in Spawn. I like Todd McFarlane as a person. I just respect him as a creator. And so I always buy Spawn. Todd McFarlane as a storyteller is just not that great at it. I tried to read Spawn 300. I got through it okay. But I loved the art, so I kept buying it. Ken Lashley did an arc. That saved it for me. That saved Spawn. I was about to drop it. But then Ken Lashley did 2 issues. And after that, Carlo Barberi has been the artist ever since. And it just looks amazing. Amazing. But anyway. Did I read the Skybound X issue that had the excellent story? Not yet. I didn't because I'm not caught up on Excellence yet. So I would need to at least read until issue 10 of Excellence so that I'm not spoiled. So far, I've only read up through issue 6 of Excellence. But I did pull the Skybound X issue. I don't know. I showed you guys in the K Squad. That book came out that week where I dropped my entire pull list. I dropped the whole bag of comics off the top of the stairs. So my Skybound X issue featuring Excellence got damaged, but it's all good. Didn't like the Spawn 300 cover. It feels too much like Spider-Man 300. That was the whole point. He did a whole homage cover fest. But Spawn 300 had a bunch of covers. It wasn't just the Spawn 300 homage. They did a bunch of covers. So if you didn't like that cover, there's a Greg Capullo cover that was amazing. There were a lot of covers. I got at least 3 covers of that book. But yeah. Yeah, those were the homage covers they were doing for the Spawn books. I really like those. I finally ordered Spawn issue 296. My first issue of Spawn was 297, which tells part 2 of the history of Spawn leading up to issue 300. I needed 296, which of course is part 1. And I finally caved and ordered it on eBay for like $15 the other day. The 300 breaks my brain. I got you. The 300s in the background do something weird for your eyes. I get it. I get that. That makes sense. Favorite food or dessert or candy that you never get tired of? I will never get tired of the combination of chocolate and peanut butter. Whether it's the peanut butter Twix, whether it's the Little Debbie Nutty Bars, whether it is, of course, Reese's Cups. Although my favorite is Reese's Sticks. That little wafer just adds something there. The Reese's Fast Break, pretty much anything by Reese's I'm down for. As far as actual desserts and not candy, chocolate chip cookies. I can eat my weight in chocolate chip cookies every day and I would never get tired of them. Let's see. Favorite Marvel series and favorite DC series you're reading right now. Favorite DC series is Nightwing. By far, that's my favorite DC series. I don't know. Marvel's kind of up in the air. like I said, I was really, really loving Marauders and I was loving Hickman's X-Men. And they've all kind of fallen off for me as of late. There's not one Marvel book that I'm just like in love with. Um, Although I suspect that Tom Taylor's Dark Ages will be that one for me. Because so far, I've never read a Tom Taylor book that I didn't like. So it'll probably end up being that. But let's see. Do I even have any Marvel books on my stack over here this week? Yeah, it was just Marauders and the Trial of Magneto. Trial of Magneto's been a slow burn too. So yeah, I guess the correct answer is I don't have a favorite Marvel series. Marvel's not doing it for me right now. But to be fair, I'm not reading a lot of Marvel. I'm not reading. I've been picking up Moon Knight, but I haven't been reading it. I've not been liking Spider-Man, so I stopped reading that. Donny Cates' Venom is over, but Cates is going to be writing Hulk soon, so maybe that'll be something to jump into. Yeah, and all the other books that I can think of have like a cosmic lean to them, and I never got into Marvel Cosmic, so I didn't buy any of them. Star Wars fans said I should read the David Walker Luke Cage books, 12 issues, and it was just dumb fun. I like David Walker. He co-wrote Bitter Root, some of it. And yeah. Dang, I forgot. Yo, I forgot to listen to it, and then I forgot what the name of the dude was. Secret Wars Last Emperor. I'm gonna press play on it real quick so that it shows up in my YouTube history so that I don't forget about it. I don't want to get my stream taken down, so. But yeah. Dumb fun. You feel the same about Marvel books? Yeah, I've never read any Marvel Cosmics, so I can't. Yeah, I don't. Marvel's just not doing it for me right now. Is the arc a sequel or a prequel? Which arc are we talking about? Speaking of Tom Taylor, I just picked up the last 2 issues of Seven Secrets. That's right at the top of my reading pile. Love that series. I fell off of Seven Secrets around issue 6, not because it was bad. My life just got super busy. We had a premature baby and all that stuff happened. I gotta go find my single issues and read that. I really, really, really enjoy Seven Secrets. So I need to get caught up on that. Seven Secrets and Firepower. I was loving both of those, and both of those I fell off of when my baby was born. Phil Duran says the best thing Tom Taylor's done is Deceased. Deceased is what got me into Tom Taylor. I absolutely loved Deceased. I read Deceased Unkillables. I didn't read Deceased A Hope at World's End because it was digital. But I think that's been collected now, so I need to pick up that hardcover. But yeah, Deceased was the first. That's right. Deceased was the first hardcover I bought. It was like my first hardcover graphic novel. Before that, I had Batman Hush, but Deceased was like, I bought the local comic shop day variant. I think it's over here. Hold on. Let me grab it. All right. Because this is special. This is special, right? So this is the local comic shop day variant for the Deceased hardcover. I bought this because I knew it wouldn't be available for long. I actually called Ultimate Comics, and Amanda answered the phone and put it on hold for me. And I went and I picked it up for a retail price of $29.99, which means it was like $27 after my subscriber discount. I read this book in one sitting. I loved this book, and I love this Joker cover. Man, Ben, your comment just hit me right in the feels. I was not prepared for the way your comment was going to make me feel. That is insane. It's weird how I wouldn't call it PTSD. I haven't been diagnosed with anything like that, So I don't want to like play with mental illness. But anyway, Ben's wife is 32 weeks pregnant with his second kid. He's got an appointment tomorrow to see if they're going to deliver early. Pretty anxious, but hoping for the best. Really glad your baby girl is healthy and back home with you, dog. You're at 32 weeks, which is great. Like you guys, you're clear of a lot of the nonsense that comes with a NICU baby. We were born. Squeak came at she was 26 weeks and 4 days. And we spent 105 days in the NICU. The ups and downs of having a baby in the NICU are insane. I won't talk about them because I risk crying on camera, and I'm a G. But yeah, so I'm praying that all goes well with your wife and your newest addition. I pray that you guys, even if you deliver early, I pray that you deliver safely, and that she's able to come home quickly. I think they're still like 34 might be the earliest they want kids to come out. But so yeah, I pray that you guys make it at least that long and that you don't have to deal with that journey that we dealt with. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Yeah, man, I love how scary the cover is too. Like if you look up the A cover for the deceased hardcover, like on Amazon, it's Batman, which I get it, Batman sells, but this was the way better image. And I loved it. I loved this. And I bought Deceased Unkillables in person. Deceased Dead Planet, I read that too. I loved that. All the Deceased stuff I loved. It makes me want to go back and read Injustice like ASAP. Like Tom Taylor doing like outside of continuity stuff just seems to be like the ticket. Frank Castle, am I the only one that likes the new book smell? There's nothing like it. No, you are not the only one, sir. I promise you're not. It's the reason I keep buying books. Harley's cover is crazy good artwork. Let's pull it up. Harley Deceased. They did a Harley Quinn movie variant that I really loved. Oh, I see what you're saying. Let me share. Why didn't I just... Okay, so I'm going to share it this way. Copy link. Paste and go. All right, so let's this, you're right, that's a nice cover. I don't like it more than I like the Joker, but I like that cover. No problem, dude. No problem. Let's see. What were your motivations to read comic books? I keep retelling this story, but I don't mind. Basically, my daughter is very much into art, all things art, painting, sculpting, drawing, whatever. When I was a kid, I was into drawing exclusively. I never painted or sculpted. But one thing I used to do as a kid was draw comics or draw superheroes out of comic books, because we just had a bunch of comic books laying around in my grandmother's house in New York. So when my daughter showed an interest in art, I just kind of went back to the only thing I really remembered about art, which was drawing comic book characters. So I took her to a free comic book day event in May of 2019, and I fell in love with comics, funny enough. A couple of weeks later, I won a copy of House of X #1, like some rare variant. And when I won that book, I was like, all right, well, I got to read the rest of the series now. And so I subscribed to House of X and Powers of 10, and I've had a pull list ever since. But that's how I got into comics. Long answer. I have not read Wonder Woman Dead Earth by Daniel Warren Johnson. The artwork didn't seem like it was for me based on the cover, which I know you're not supposed to do that. So I never read it. I might pick up like a collected edition. I know they got it in hardcover now, but I didn't buy the single issues because of that. Got to read that Injustice Omni. Yeah, there is an animated movie coming up. I love the Injustice video game, and if the story is like the video game story was, then I'm sure the comic and the movie are all going to be great. Man, my voice is cracking. I don't have tea. That's a great sign that I probably need to end the stream here soon. Love stories where people get into comics by pure chance. Yeah, I did not expect to, my little excursion to the comic shop to turn into my daughter or me being the comic fan in the family. But hey, it happens. It happens. So, this was a fun stream. We went about an hour and a half. I like that. I'm going to do this every Thursday so we don't feel the need to linger too long. I really, really appreciate you guys joining me for this stream and sitting through my comic reviews. Let me know in the comments of this, like how this went for you. Did you like watching me review comics? I might make the comic reviews a weekly thing. I'm going to throw this in here, though, because it's a great recommendation. Ben Uncles loves Daniel Warren Johnson, and he's got a great story in Superman Red and Blue #5 that almost made him cry. Let's see. Yeah, you know what? I'll stay in for like 5 more minutes. I'll officially end this at 8:45 unless the questions stop coming in. Everybody, put in your last question. I'll answer those. Superman Red and Blue, I think it was issue 4, had a story by Brandon Thomas that was really dope about this dude who Superman kept saving, and then he had the opportunity to save Superman at the end. I thought that was pretty cool. So I need to go back and read Superman Red and Blue. And then let's see. All right. Let's see. What would you say to the upcoming generation to influence them about the comics? Man, honestly, everything that we watch on TV started in a comic book. I'm learning that now. I mean, the Invincible series, Sweet Tooth is a series. Why the Last Man is going to series. What else is it? What else is based on comics? Everything was a comic book first, it seems like. So I like that as a comic book fan, this puts me at the very bleeding edge of pop culture, So yeah, I feel like when you're a comic fan, you get like the heads up on everything that's going to happen years from now. So maybe, you could pitch them being the early adopter. That's a hard sell, but yeah, I just like comics. So I can't tell you why to read them. I can tell you why I love them, though. Favorite Batman artist is Jim Lee, followed by Jason Fabok. I do also like Lee Bermejo. And I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it. My voice is shot. So I'm going to drink some tea. But yeah, thank you all for joining the stream and being dope. If you haven't already, join the K-Squad. Links in the description. Check out our channel sponsors. You can save a bunch of money and buy some really cool things. All the links are in the description of this video. I will see you guys in the next episode of the Hangout. Same time, same bat time, same bat station. Next Thursday at 7 p.m. Until then, gang. Yeah, until then, peace out. I gotta do something first. What am I doing? I'm tripping. All right. So yeah. Hope you saw something you liked in this live stream. Hope this live stream was fun for you as it was for me. But if not, it's cool. You can always buy what you like. Just make sure you read what you buy and be nice to others because kindness makes the world go round. And I'm officially out this time, for real.